whichever way you want to make money, whichever way you want to make wealth or riches, it's very important that you realize that it is mammon, all right, worshiping money or pursuing the love of money, all right, is something that you don't want to put your hands into, because a lot of things have happened in Nigeria, where I'm from, and I believe it also happens all over the world, where we want to make it, actually want to make it, I want to make it, without actually doing real actual work, without actually providing real actual value or selling something really valuable that's going to help other people. And I think that we should actually have a rethink, because the whole idea when Jesus Christ in the Bible was talking about the demon, the person that a demon was cast out of and sent into pigs, right? And he continued by saying that, okay, that if this person doesn't remain clean, or if something else doesn't fill up this person, the person will probably become even more dangerous. More dangerous demons are going to attack the person and destroy the life of the person. There's this concept, around this part, they believe it is the village people, right? Village people, stopping people from achieving their goals, village people stopping people from doing stuff. And I asked my friend one day, what about I give these village people 100 million, right? Get them 100 million, they're going to back out, they're going to back off, because I don't really believe village people anywhere, or people's mindset, or people's upbringing, people's past, people's beliefs, that is bringing them down, tying them down. And when they are trying to push beyond that, they experience resistance, because that is not where they have been. That's not their new environment. And anytime you want to do that, there's always a force to try to push you back, because obviously you've not been in that environment before. So you need to learn some new stuff. You need to debunk some new myths. You need to open up your mind, allow the things you've believed in before, let it go, because some of them might sound like evil. All right, some new things you want to learn might contradict with what you've already known, but how much have what you already known helped you, right? So it could be to the positive, it can also be to the negative, right? If you want to, the human faculty, the human being is just like a faculty, like it has different parts, moving parts, and as we grow, our experiences shape us, right? They give us what we want to think. And because we're in a society where we have a construct, we have a basic belief, something that everyone should actually understand and abide by, it also forms a part of us. So a village boy, have a way they do things in their village, right? They worship whatever they worship, they have their culture, and he falls into the township and realizes that things are a bit different. The aeroplane is flying, you haven't seen that before, there is AC, the house is chilled, and you have not experienced that before, and he's going to malfunction in that environment for a while until he gets used to it. And that's how I think prosperity, or we moving forward, or being better people, is. We haven't been successful before, so it feels like imposter for us to come into an environment and we don't feel like it. All I tell people, my mind, if I can conceive it, it's possible that when I get there, it looks as though I've been there, because my character, my behavior, my thought pattern is being aligned to the destination I want to get to. So, talking about the story about casting out the devil. Now, some people think that like I said, throw 100 million to the village, they will disappear. So what happens is that one of the things that money is being thrown to every problem. You throw money at every problem, and which is not right, because money doesn't solve everything, right? We have different other forms of currency except cash, right? There are some things that attention or energy or your time or being available or something can solve, right? And there's a lot more that physical cash can solve. But how do we strike the balance? Because if you hand over money to somebody that have not really developed their faculties to make that money, the person is going to return back to default. So that's actually what I make from that parable, from that statement, right? Or from that story. You were able to hand this guy that haven't handled money, haven't turned 1,000 to 1 million, haven't turned 100,000 to 10 million, right? You hand him over 50 million all of a sudden. It doesn't matter how you got the money, right? Maybe you are trying to start a business, and I pity those people that are looking for investment while they are still starting a business. They have not even grown the business to make 10,000 naira for them, and they want to handle, 100 million as a fund. If you don't have the right the right guide, you're definitely going to misuse the money, because money is a tool. All right, is a spirit, is a form of energy on its own. So I think that when the person comes back to point zero, the demon, the devil that's going to attack the person, the poverty that's going to attack the person at that point might be even more dangerous, might be worse. All right, we've heard stories of people that won gambling, won money in gambling games, and after a while they came back to zero because their mind cannot conceive. Their mind cannot conceive that, their mind can't handle that kind of money, right? And for some money you must have mishandled. For some time you didn't have enough information. You got money, you got to be exposed in some way or the other. You got into a system or an environment you are not used to yet, and you mishandled it. This is a time for you to start thinking of how you can actually shift your mind, reshape your thoughts, to actually be present even before you become present in the next place. So right now, maybe you're in a job and you're working for someone. We want to own your own business. The best way to do that is to own the business you are currently in. Own that job you are currently in. Manage it as though it's yours. Be there as though it's yours. And yours is definitely going to come. And you will not mismanage it because you know how to be a good staff. You can actually communicate that. Anything you cannot communicate, anything you cannot explain, you can't sustain. Any success you can't explain, you don't know how it happened, you can actually transfer it to someone else. So I think that is the lesson. Don't be in a hurry to jump into the next phase, because if you ever mistakenly jump back to the previous phase, it's going to be worse than anything you can ever imagine. Thank you very much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and like. See you in the next one.